Welcome back, viewers, to another news hour on Jamano Media and Products. We first begin with our headlines. Gambian made NATO battalion commander. Lands Minister Sirif Abasanyang wins praises. Baba Haidara continues testimony in Germany. President Adama Barrow will lead National People's Party cleansing exercise in Banjul tomorrow. Those were the headlines. We now have the news in detail. A Gambian serving in the United States Army, Lieutenant Ibrahim F. Mbai, yesterday took command of NATO's elite forces South Battalion based in Naples, Italy. Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahim F. Mbai is son of former Attorney General and Gambian legal luminary Fafa Mbai. The allied forces South Battalion supports NATO and the United States Army, Europe and Africa missions by conducting individual soldier and family readiness through training, logistics and human resources support in order to strengthen the resilience of soldiers and their families while building and maintaining joint and multinational partners. Mbai comes to the command from United States Indo-Pacific Command, where he served in the J1 section. In his speech taking over the command, Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahim Mbai said to the soldiers and civilians of AF South, he can't promise them the days ahead will be easy, but as the author James Kerr initiated in his book, Legacy, organizations with sustainable successes are purpose-driven, vision-led and valuable based. They know that should stand for. They have a clear idea of the work they want to bring into existence. They have asked and answered the questions by others to matter. It promises them they will meet their challenges together and they will emerge as a disciplined, trained and ready team. Finally, he can truly handle an honor to serve as young battalion commander, and he looks forward to all the opportunities and the challenges that await them. In his welfare addresses, outgoing Commander Lieutenant Colonel Travis said of the new commander, Lieutenant Colonel Mbai, a significant win in his career as they know less than a third of lieutenant colonels and the right command soldier. It is not easy that a new minister gets high public rating just after taking office, but it seems to the case with Sirif Abasanyang, the new minister of local government, lands, religious affairs. Even before the marks 100 days in office, Mr. Sanyang has made headlines for all the right reasons. Taking over toxic and mammoth land issues, the minister made a sound judgment over the land of real estate businesses in the country, clarifying and contrary to widely held belief, most of the real estate businesses are Gambian owned, and made his intention clear about how to sensitize the sector. Mr. Sanyang also won praises from the public when he boldly addresses the brewing tension between the Ahmadiyya Jamaat and some imams from the main Muslim sect by categorically stating that every Gambian has a right to belong and worship any faith, including the Ahmadiyyas. That is what a serious authority does. He is bold and courageous to say or do the right thing, as expected of a government, prominent Gambian academic told the Standard. Minister Sanyang also received plaudits from analysts who observed that despite the fact that almost all the local councils under his ministry are run by opposition political parties, his current dealings with them have been professional and patriotic. He thinks that toxic relations between the councils and the government will end now. The new minister is a technocrat, not a politician. He is a very, very professional, a senior local government official told the Standard. Meanwhile, the Gambian Council in Angola, Haji Jawara, has personally praised Minister Sanyang for his humility and respect to Gambians without discrimination. She have had the opportunity to deal with his office, and from her experience and what she have heard from other people, the new minister is truly a good servant of President Adama Barrow and the Gambian people. They have a lot of respect for his efficiency, candid dealings and frank interaction with people on matters under his purview. Mr. Jawara, also a businessman, said Mr. Sanyang is a seasoned politician, an administrator and former teacher. One of the plaintiffs in the trial of former members of ex-President Jammeh's hit squad testifies in court. Baba Haidara, a son of the late Deda Haidara, who was allegedly murdered by the junglers, testified on Tuesday at the trial involving the accused. By law at the Sele Regional Supreme Court in Germany, the trial of a former member of the junglers continued in Sele, Germany, as more witnesses testify. By law is accused of being a member of the hit squad known as the junglers between 2003 and 2006 and allegedly participating in the assassination of opponents of former President Yahya Jammeh, including the murder of Deda Haidara, a journalist of the AFP newspaper agency and co-founder of the Gambia Independent Daily, The Point newspaper. The latest witnesses to appear in court was Baba Haidara. In a lengthy and cross-cutting testimony, Baba disclosed the history and content of The Point newspaper, where his father worked, as well as his dedication to press freedom, democracy and good governance. Baba explained that his late father had two columns in a newspaper called Good Morning, Mr. President and The Bite, where he wrote on these issues of national concern and socio-economic development. This, according to Baba, never went down well with the former president, and he received several threats from the corridors of power. The witness also disclosed the killing of his father, his family's reaction to the news of the murder, and the subsequent difficulties endured by his family, including financial and educational challenges. He also detailed the psychological trauma as well as security threats faced by the family after the killing of his late father, saying the only source of income was RSF and AFP. He disclosed that no formal or impartial investigation was launched on the assassination of his father by government. However, the International Journalist Network, Reporters Without Borders, carried out some investigations and putting pressure on the government to investigate the matter. This subsequently led to what he described as a misleading, baseless and partial report released by government went on tarnishing Deda's reputation. The witness also discussed his understanding of the patrol team, the assassination of his dead Dauda Nyasi, and the attack on Usman Silla. He, however, stressed that he never wanted to discuss the issue with anyone since the murder of his father, after it disturbed him, and that his knowledge about the work of the junglers and murder of his dad was during his time with Gambia's Victim Center. The presiding judge also asked clarification on whether Ida Jany and Esatu Jany refer to the same person who was in the car during Deda's assassination, and the victims said he knows only Ida Jany and not Aisatu. The plaintiff's lawyer, Dr. Patrick Croker, also asked the issue of the junglers who returned from Equatorial Guinea, and the witnesses explained that they were arrested, charged and later discharged. The witness also explained that the threats faced by the PAP sent at the point as government wanted to shut down the paper. The witness urged the government to the Gambia to ensure the implementation of the Truth, Reconciliation and the Reparations Commission's recommendations, saying that the accepting them alone is far from enough. He also reiterated his commitment to fight for justice for his late father, as well as other victims of ex-President Jammeh and his hit squad. He also called for the swift prosecution of perpetrators, saying justice delayed is justice denied. Mr. Law is accused of crimes against humanity, murder and attempted murder, including helping to stop Deda's car and driving one of the killers in his own vehicle. The father of four, late Deda Haidara, also worked as a Gambian correspondent for Reporters Without Borders, RSF, and was considered a doyen among journalists in the West African state. The court described over a panel of 5 judges adjourned on Tuesday, 30th June 2022. His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Mr. Adama Barrow, in his drive to reclaim Banjul to his former glory, has invested millions of dollars to rehabilitate roads, sewage and drainage system. The rehabilitation project was greatly reduced flooding and gave a facelift to Banjul in terms of access and cleanliness. In light of this development, as the rain begins, The National People's Party, under the visionary leadership of the Secretary General and the party leader, His Excellency President Adama Barrow, shall organize a cleansing exercise settled dubbed Operation Clean the Nation this Saturday, 25th June 2022. According to all National People's Party executive members, militants and sympathizers are hereby urged to come out in their thousands and join His Excellency, the President, in his worthwhile venture. The event will start at 10 o'clock a.m. from the Albert Market to the ports, Hagan Street, Half Die, Quadral Angle, I-22, through Allen Street and other places. All are encouraged to dress in the National People's Party regalia, the t-shirt for the event. Those were the stories for our today's newscast. But before we take a leave, let's take a recap on our top stories. Gambian made NATO battalion commander. Lance Minister Sirif Abasanyang wins praises. Baba Haidara continues testimony in Germany. President Adama Barrow will lead National People's Party cleansing exercise in Banjul tomorrow. Those were the stories. Thank you for joining us with your presenter, Maria Magilan. Do have a nice weekend.